Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the situation report or the summary for the day of 953 to 954 for the 3rd to the 4th of October. So the frontline changes report for both days plus one conclusion is out. So do check it out on the main channel. So the war channel is for the giga chats, the people who really wants the sauce. Chili sauce. And so there is more frontline changes report after the frontline changes report earlier. There is frontline changes at Donetsk. There is a geolocation by Creamy Caprice and showing Russian forces in the totally new position, slightly away from where it was. So it's here. So the Russian forces extends their control a little bit, and the Stegosaurus now opened its mouth. So you can see that the Stegosaurus now, this is the Stegosaurus head. Now it opens its mouth, like that. Yeah. So this the plates, Yeah. Yeah, it's very happy now. So the next frontline change is over at Agovka. So this is at Kursk front. At the Kursk front, Ukrainian forces has been attacked by FPV drone in this position, invalidating Russian claims in this area here. So Ukrainian forces actually have most likely full control of Agovka by the look of it. So that's all for the frontline changes reports. The latest informations that we have. Information have no S, so information, for the past 12 hours. So we're going to go into the SITREP. So this past 2 days has been super eventful, and I'm gonna take my time to talk because that's all. No reasons. So just to be a bit more chill. So we're gonna go from the Kursk front. So moving into the Kursk front, the Russians are still on their counter-offensive, and there seems to be some kind of results, some kind of results. So this is the entire of the Kursk front. We have the Glushkovo sector, the western flank, which is over here, the northern flank, and the southeast and southern flank over here. So this is the Glushkovo sector. So the Russian forces continue their counteroffensive. This time around, there is fighting reported at Medvedze, Vysoloye, Novi Put. Ukrainian counterattack or attacking at Novi Put. Russian forces attack at Lobimovka, Darino, Mykolaivo, Darino. Ukrainian forces counterattack at Lobimovka, and then the Russians still pushing in the southern flank at Bekovo, and the Ukrainians are clashing with them over there. So this is the strategic situation around here. Some details we have is that, of course, as the geolocation suggests just now, the Ukrainians seems to have full control of Agovka. There is some updates regarding in the Glushkovo sector. And so the Russian forces seems to be retaking back ground. These are based on Russian claims. This is not Ukrainian mapping. The Russian forces seems to have re-secured Vysoloye, as well as retaking almost the entirety of Medvedze. There is a possibility, based on the way they was reported by the Russian side, that the Ukrainians have been already pushed out of the Medvedze region. And based on the Russian Defense Ministry's report, which is kind of weird, they say that there is no violation of state border in the Novi Put region, which means that the Russian Defense Ministry is claiming that the Ukrainians hardly have any positions over in the Novi Put region. They are still largely inside the Sumy region, and the Russians could potentially have already re-established control over Bukovka and the northern part of Novi Put. In fact, maybe even Novi Put itself. But Novi Put is a very, very tiny village, so it doesn't really make sense to do not have any positions there per se. But it looks like the entire Glushkovo offensive has went to shit for the Ukrainians. So unfortunately, this seems to be the case. Novi Put is like, is there even a village? What the hell is this? Elven village? So the people who live in Novi Put are elves. That's why they live in the forest. So in case you do not know, you cannot discriminate against the orcs, the Mordor. Sometimes some elves prefer to side with the Mordorians, So that's all for this area here. So in the eastern flank, there is geolocation of Russian forces in this Bukovka region. Probably this was the geolocation This was the geolocation that led to the Deep State UA to draw the front line where the Russians actually have advanced in the Obukovka region. I think this is it. Deep State UA they have a lot of hidden resources. They have I believe they have a pretty decent team that they don't publish a lot of things that they have. So a lot of the information they put it, they probably have a separate mapping. I guess this is my guess that allows them to drop in all the geolocations and whatnot, and they have the latest information. Like every footage, they get it first, or they have a team that basically scrub the web from the internet for it, and then they actively doing geolocations, and they actually have the exact reality of what's currently happening on in Ukraine. Probably is what the Ukrainian military is using. So so this came way later than like this is 1st of October's mapping. We only have this information on the 4th. So so Deep State UA is really fast, when they have certain information. So we shall see. Otherwise, there is some drone strikes all over the place, and Orgovka, south of Orgovka and Novo-Ivanovka. These are artillery strike. So some strikes, but these are not important. There's way more happening. What we saw in social media is just a slice of it. Otherwise, in the northern flank, nothing much is happening right now. In the southern flank, as I mentioned earlier, Russian forces and Ukrainian forces are clashing over at Blakovo, and that's about it in this area here. There's no real other significant things happening. South of the Glushkovo sector, there is some drone strikes. So this drone is in the translation here is the Inohodek strike drone. It's actually the Russian version of the Predator drone. So it's basically, it looks exactly like a Predator, and it fires anti-tank missiles. And so these drones are not suicide drones. So these drones can probably fly pretty long range. I haven't checked the specs, but this type of drone usually flies a long range. They'll loiter for a long time searching for a target, and then they'll fire a missile at the target. And yeah, the fact that such drone is being used shows that the Ukrainians have zero air defense. Yeah, it's just that this kind of drone is actually pretty susceptible to air defense systems. So the fact that the drone is being used shows that the Ukrainians have no air defense right now. So this is a disaster, a recipe for disaster. Over in the Kharkiv front, so I just want to know, the people keep complaining, there are some Russian Nazis, I mean Russian language Nazis, they just keep telling me, you are not pronouncing the words correct. It's Donetsk, Pokrovsk, Kharkiv. So at the Kharkiv front, the Russian forces are attacking at Mariupol and the Lipsy, as well as Staritsia and Vosjansk, and at Taike. Better? Happy? Irritating, right? This is not the way how I talk, so it's a bit stupid. So anyway, this is the Russians are attacking these few regions here. And but generally there is no change in terms of the strategic situation, despite this 2-day report. So we will continue to monitor. So far, no sense that there is some major offensive happening on this side. Lancet hit the electronic warfare equipment over at this area near Obnorovivka, which is kind of unusual. Why is there an electronic warfare system deployed over that location? So anyway, that's all from the Kharkiv front. Well, I need to assert myself to say it properly. So we go to the Kupiansk front, and at the Kupiansk front, the Russian forces are attacking at Sinkivka, Petropavlivka. So you have to forgive me. I'm afraid of the Nazis, I mean, as in the Russian language Nazis, as well as at Supova Novoselivka. There is fighting or shelling of Kurilivka, and geolocation of shelling at I think it's airstrikes if I'm not wrong. Airstrikes at Petropavlivka and Kusherivka was actually geolocated, and there is shelling reported at Kupiansk, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Ukrainians also reported fighting in the region of Peshotravneve. So that's all from the Kupiansk front. Suddenly it looks really busy here. So we'll continue to monitor the situation in this sector. So far, nothing very significant. Over in the Pischany front, the Russian forces are fighting in the region of Novo-Osinove, Kuliakivka, in the Pischany region towards Lozova as Stemakivka. So the biggest development, of course, is the one at Kuliakivka, which I did mention in the conclusions, which a lot of people didn't watch because the video coincided with the posting of the videos. I think 1 hour later, was the military summary posted, so no, there's nothing I can do about it. That's just how the algo works. Anyway, the Russians have expanded the control around Kolesnivkivka as well as towards Kuliakivka. So the battle towards for Kuliakivka is going to happen very soon. So that's all from this area here. We're moving south over in the northern part of the Svetove front. Should I? Yeah, maybe yeah. In the northern in this half of the Svetove front, this is Svetove. At the Svetove front, Russian forces attacking at Vishneve. And there is already reports from the Russian Defense Ministry of fighting at Zeleny High. So it could be a case where there's continuation from Vishneve to Zeleny High, according to the reports. So Ukrainians are the one that say that is fighting at Vishneve. The Russians are saying that it's Zeleny High. So no, there's just like a continuation one after another. So we move further south. The Russian forces are fighting. Let me see. Are fighting in the area of Druzhlyubivka, Kharkivka, Makievka, Nevsky, Novosadove. So there is like a big arrow movement. If you look at this, so we shall see how this continues to develop. And moving further south over in the Crimea front, this is Crimea. There is fighting reported at Torske as well as towards within the Serbiansky forestry. Slight geolocation in towards Novosadove, so not very important. I did mention in the frontline changes report already. So that's all for the Crimea front. We move into the Pischany front. At Pischany, Dronivka was mentioned again. Not exactly sure how to interpret this, probably just shelling. Fighting is reported at Verkhem-Okanyamsky, Siversk, Spurny, as well as Vimka. So at Spurny, the Russian mapping have suggested that the Russians have gained grounds around the northwest of Spurny, securing part of the grounds around here. So this lines up the line with Ivano-Darivka, which is a logical advance, but we shall see whether this can be corroborated in the near future, because tentatively this cannot be corroborated just yet. So we move on away from the Siversk front, over in the Bakhmut front. At the Bakhmut front, on the the central flank, Russian forces are now fighting at Markove. There's also fighting reported at Kalinina and also towards Virolubivka or Virolubivka. So this is interesting because Virolubivka is mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry after they have already claimed the capture of Kalinina. So the Ukrainians are still talking about Kalinina right now. So it's the same situation as the one above with the Vishneve and then leading to the next town. So we shall continue to monitor the situation over here. Geolocation of airstrike in Chasivia, not important per se. We move into the southern flank of the Bakhmut front. The fighting is reported at Stuposhki, Pitechny, Andrievka, as well as Bilahora. Otherwise, this is the usual, nothing special about this. We move away from the Bakhmut front into the New York front. At the New York front, fighting is primarily in this northern side. So let's zoom in a bit. So fighting is reported. I can't zoom in, man. Okay, fighting is reported at Druzhba. Is there more? Okay, I think cannot. Let's zoom in this way. So fighting is reported at Druzhba, Dachny, Donetsk, Skibinivka, Nelipivka, and Sukhobauka. So this is the full extent of the strategic situation over the New York front. And particularly, as usual, the Ukrainians are talking about Dachny, and the Russians are talking about Druzhba. So this is a reverse, where the Ukrainians are the one talking about a more advanced position for the Russians. The geolocation of Russian forces in the northeast of Nelipivka invalidated huge amount of grounds in this New York northeast of New York region or west of Nelipivka, and this confirmed to be Russian capture. So this does not necessarily mean that Nelipivka is fully confirmed to be captured yet. So we will continue to monitor. And then just now, as mentioned, the geolocation inside Donetsk, confirming Russians continue to make small advances within this the head of the Stegosaurus. So I really like this Stegosaurus. It makes me happy. So it's like, yeah, this is a Stegosaurus. Yeah. So happy Stegosaurus. So anyway, let's hope that Stegosaurus will survive for a longer time. Usually these animals all die very fast. So we move into the northern part of the Pokrov front. So let's take a wider view of Pokrov. So can I? Yes. Okay. So this is Pokrov. I should use blue because it's still under Ukrainian control. Russian forces are attacking at Novo-Oleksandrivka, Novotoretsk, Horodivka, Promin. For the first time, we have reports of Promin, Mykolaievka, Krasnaya, Krutaya, Lysivka, Novohorodivka, and Selidove. So this is the strategic situation over the Pokrov front. And particularly, it looks like there is a lot of intensity around this area. And of significance also, the Russians entering Lysivka. This is very important. There's also a huge concentration of attack over in the Novotoretsk region. And there is not much news about Selidove though. So that is the current situation. I don't think Selidove is that critical right now because the push towards Pokrov is now ongoing anyway. So Pokrov is the one is going to collapse the entire region here. So let's see how this goes. Ukrainians still have this reverse snowman over in the Minograd, so that should give some cover for Pokrov in the eastern side of the city. So of course just now as mentioned, Promin for the first time is mentioned. This time this is mentioned by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, where the Russians have now officially, according to the Ukrainians, attacking towards Promin. And so let's see how this continue to develop in this area here. And we move on in the Khernik region. So this is the Khernik region. The Russian forces continue to clamp down on Sukhirine, and as mentioned in the frontline changes report and the conclusions, I think the end is 9 for the Sukhirine. Is probably soon. Geolocation confirms Russian forces have a foothold within the southern part of Sukhirine. Russian forces are attacking Khernik, but there's not much news about this. And everything else, east of this position is, as usual, very foggy. We do not know what the hell is happening over there. So over in the Kurakove sector, the Russian forces continue their push towards the Ukrainian stronghold of Kurakove. This is where they have the HQ for this entire front line in the Donetsk region, and it's now under severe threat. You can see this heavily defended region, a lot of entrenchment all around the place. Russian forces have been geolocated to be entering into Ostritsky. So they are just one more step. If they take Ostritsky, the next jump will be Kurakove. Russian forces are still fighting in the region of Masimilianivka and Georgievka. Fighting is also reported at Hostry, and because of the advance towards Ostritsky, Hostry is now confirmed to be under Russian control. So this is a confirmation by this extension of the front line, and it must be pretty desperate right now. For the command here, the Ukrainian command around here, it looks really depressing. The situation over this sector, and we move further south into the Voleda Konstantinivka region. So Voleda, of course, is captured. The Russian Defense Ministry on the 3rd of October announced the capture of Voleda. So this is an official announcement of the capture of Voleda. So in the rest of the front line, there's no more fighting at Voleda. Fighting is mainly around this northern part, particularly around Katerinivka, where the Russians are now concentrating their effort on. So Russian forces have expanded their control, and they have entered into Katerinivka. This confirms the Russians have started the Battle of Katerinivka, and the geolocation north of Konstantinivka confirmed the capture of Konstantinivka. And these two geolocations invalidated the entire chunk of Ukrainian claims south of Konstantinivka, and the fighting is now moving towards Antonivka, and this is confirmed by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry themselves. So the Ukrainians are now acknowledging that the Russians are moving towards Antonivka, and Katerinivka is now the main battle right here at this sector. The Russian forces continue to expand their control around Vodiane as they continue to secure this area here. and they are now attacking towards Bohov-Yevlenka, and this is acknowledged by both Russian and the Ukrainian defense ministries. So that's all from this sector. As you can see, there is two distinct push. One is in this direction, and the other one is towards Bohov-Yevlenka. So there is two push right here. So let's continue to watch and see how this continue to play out. I'm quite sure the pro-Ukrainian side is getting really bored. No, like there is no good news. They just keep bad news after bad news after bad news, and no, there's nothing I can do. This is just reality. So over in this this Velika Novosilka sector, I try to squeeze in everything. Russian forces attacking at Levadne towards Velika Novosilka, towards Zolotan Neva, as well as towards Maksimivka. Geolocation of Russian airstrike at Novoyukrenka happened. So, and it's interesting to Maksimivka is actually mentioned. This is actually mentioned by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry themselves. On the 3rd of October, they mentioned Maksimivka. So, which is kind of weird. It could be just shelling that they are reporting. Just like there is reports of shelling or attacks at Trudove, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry as well. So it could be just shelling, and this could be shelling Ukrainians' reserve position in the region. So this could be where the Ukrainian positions are, I suspect, and the Ukrainians are defending the line around Bohov-Yevlenka, where the Russians are attacking. So the Russians shelling the reserve positions do make certain sense. So yeah, so that's what I think it is. So anyway, after the monkey, we move away from this area into the Zaporizhia front. So this is Zaporizhia city, and this is the Zaporizhia front. And over in the Orikhiv and the Kyamsky sector, which is these sectors, the Russian forces seems to be engaging in more and more attacks around this area here. So Russian forces are attacking Kyamsky, Mali Shabaki, Nesteryanka towards Novodanilivka, Robotine, as well as Mala Tomachka. So far, it still doesn't feel like an offensive. It still feels like there's a lot of harassment, and so we shall continue to monitor how these continue to develop. Tentatively, there is no strategic reasons for the Russians to do a major offensive in this sector yet. It's not really important to attack here at this moment. So let's wait and see how this continue to develop. And we move into the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, there is no fighting reported, only shelling reports. We have shelling reported at Kizomysk, Kazatsky, as well as this one is what? Stepny. So these are the three places that was reported to be shelled by the Russian Defense Ministry. Yesterday, the Russian Defense Ministry did not have a summary for the day because they did a weekly report. So anyway, that's it. So this is the entire SITREP, or the summary for the day of 953 to 954 for the 3rd to the 4th of October. Check out the conclusions, and I'll see you guys in the and also the DP open mic will be happening very, very soon, right after this recording, maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So I'll see you at DP open mic. We can chit chat and chit chat and talk about the Ukraine war, and of course any other things happening around the world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update.